Well, it hasn't been something Idaho has had as long as the grocery tax, but there is an attempt to scrap it nonetheless. On the second day of the legislative session, about 10 days ago, Representative Heather Scott proposed a joint memorial to reject the 2015 Supreme Court decision that legalized same-sex marriage. She says it undermines states' authorities to make their own decisions over how a marriage should be defined. Idaho law already defines it as being between a man and a woman. Last week, the joint memorial passed through the House State Affairs Committee after dozens of people walked out in protest. Today, it was heard in the House, and Hunter Funk listened in.
What this resolution does is it rejects the Obergefell decision, and then we're asking them to restore state authority. This is a state's right.
House Joint Memorial 1 is turning up the volume in Boise. Idaho legislators want to be heard by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Now, they can ignore this. They can ignore it, but they can also take note that we understand there has been an overreach in the decision-making for something they don't have the authority to do.
On Sunday, dozens of LGBTQ plus rights advocates wanted their voices heard by lawmakers at the foot of the Capitol steps.
To let the people on the fourth floor of this building know that we're not going anywhere. Our marriages don't affect anyone else, and we just want to make sure that our voices are heard and amplified.
Cole Lancaster says he's wary of putting his marriage rights in the hands of state legislators if the Supreme Court were to take the petition seriously. It's a similar message voiced by House Minority Leader Alana Rubel.
One of my sons is gay. He talked to me about this the other week. He was very upset. He's not a very political guy, but he was really concerned about whether he is ever going to be blocked from marrying his long-term boyfriend and being able to live in this state.
The debate followed party lines.
It's a bold thing to do in this time and culture that we're living in, but it means it's the right thing to do. Whether it's crumpled up and thrown away, whether the wording isn't exact, or whether it's ignored, it is what we need to do as a body and a people.
This is just a letter. It has no force of law. The courts are going to toss it in the trash. It really accomplishes nothing. It's a waste of time and money.
Though, while Republican Representative Lance Clough believes the U.S. Supreme Court went beyond their powers to make the decisions, he had a hard time making a decision on the petition.
This is a troublesome phrase in there that we are rejecting the U.S. Supreme Court, which Idaho has adopted as the supreme law of the land, which says that we should obey their decisions. I really struggle with that, and I just had to make sure I said that before I voted. Thank you.
Despite that, he voted for the joint memorial, and now it's heading to the Senate. Yeah, and 46 were for it, 24 against, which means the majority voted in favor, so it heads to the Senate. Again, it may not be impacting laws, but it does make a statement on both sides of the aisle to people in our community.
It certainly does, and that was kind of the argument, but also remembering back to history, that was brought up a couple of times. States' rights didn't work out so well when it came to, interracial marriages or school segregation. So That's when the federal authorities had to step in and say, hold on a second, that's not how this is done.
Right, and that, big debate in this, obviously, as well.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, Hunter.